Madeline here. Let's make a swimsuit cover up out of these curtains that I found at the thrift store for $9. I think it came with like 3 of them. And it's really sheer, and I think it's perfect for summertime, swimsuit cover up. Let's get into it. So this is the design that I want to recreate. Very cute. And I started out by folding it in half, and I had a shirt pattern already and then a skirt that I like the shape of. And there I was just kind of measuring the length that I wanted it. So I'm cutting it at the length, and I'm using the shirt pattern and the skirt to mark where I'm going to cut. And I fold it in half so that way it's even on both sides. I'm leaving some room for the seam allowance. So I'm probably leaving about an inch there, which I later find is too much. I don't need that much. But if you don't have any patterns to use, I would suggest using like a tank top that you like the shape of and kind of lining it up like I did. Now I'm taking that piece I just cut, putting it on another curtain, and just cutting around it so I can have 2 equal parts of front and back. Now I realized that I did it way too wide for my shape, so I'm putting that skirt back down, kind of like where the hips are at, and just cutting closer to the skirt so I can get rid of some of the excess. So yeah, just take a skirt and a shirt that you like and just kind of use that as a template. That's what I did literally for years starting out. I still do it to make my own patterns. Sometimes I don't even make the patterns. But okay, right now I am just folding both of them on top of themselves because I want to make sure that the sides are even. So I'm going to cut along the side here and get rid of that excess because I didn't have it even. Okay, go. That's more like it. Okay, so I kind of held that up just to check the length, see if I liked it. Now I'm going to add the long sleeves. So I found a hoodie pattern on moodfabrics.com, and basically I'm just using their sleeve from their pattern. Right now I'm measuring how long I want my sleeve to be. Like I said, if you don't have any patterns and you need to make a sleeve, I would suggest finding a hoodie that you're not going to wear anymore, but you like the fit of it. I would say cut that hoodie up into pieces and trace the sleeve. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to fold it in half so that way I can cut them both at the same time, leave a little room for the seam allowance. I got all of the pieces cut out. So it's just 4 pieces, 2 sleeves, and then a front and the back. Identical, easy. Okay. I got my thread in there, but I'm gonna go over how to thread the machine just in case. Just a regular Singer sewing machine, not an industrial machine or anything, but that is coming. Just you wait. Okay. This was chewed on by a dog, ignore that. But this is the blue that I'm gonna use. Yeah, pretty much the same. And bobbin. I'll go over how to wind this up in another video. Like, I'm gonna do a separate video that is how to thread the machine and the bobbin and all the basic knowledge that you need for the machine, but that's going to be in a separate video. But I will go over the rethreading process really quick. She's a little dusty, but it tells you where to start. Like, it has everything numbered for you. So you can either put your thread on here, or there's a thing right here usually too. I lost that. But I use this because I have these cones, so these like fit on here better. Okay, I'm gonna turn the hand wheel on the side towards you so that this is up. And then I'm gonna put this over here. So number one is you put it under here to keep the thread in place. Then two is under here. Ignore this, that's for threading the bobbin. So you're gonna go under two, come down, which is three, and then up around in the front. So there's a little notch right here that you'll go under and back up. And then five is around this loop here. And you'll see it catches in there. And then down at the bottom, there's a little hook. So yeah, this hook right here, and then there's another hook back here that you gotta get the thread behind. This is why I don't ever like to have nails, because it's annoying to try to do this. And then lastly, through the eye of the needle. And then my presser foot has this little notch, so I like to put it in there like that. And then for the bobbin, you're gonna have it to where the thread is going out to the left, and then put it down in there. And first you're gonna come to the notch closest to you. Then you're gonna go up the other notch, like that. So just think of like coming this way, going back up that way. Oh, it has a little picture, duh. See the little picture? All right, now we're ready to go. Also, make sure that your tension and everything is set where you want it. I like to have the needle in the middle, so I put that in the middle. Tension, I usually keep right around 3. Depends what I'm doing or what fabric I'm using, but I usually just leave it there. Have it on the straight stitch, and then stitch length, basically like the space in between your stitches, like if you want them really far, really big, or like really tight little stitches. But I like to keep this at about a 3 as well, maybe like between 3 and 4. But yeah, now we are ready to sew. And actually for this cover up, we're going to do a zigzag stitch. And normally for this project, I would be using a serger, but a lot of people don't have a serger. It's a little more complicated to set up and everything, so we're just gonna use All Reliable here. So since we're doing a zigzag stitch, you're gonna want the width maybe like 3 or 4. I mean, I keep it all the same. I keep it all around 3. That's just, I don't know why, that's just what I've always done. But for width, like if you're doing a straight stitch, you don't need to, the width doesn't matter because it's going straight. But like for zigzag, that width will depend. Okay, if you have it at a 1, they're gonna be like this. If you go to a 3, they're gonna be like this, you know, the literal width of the stitch. Okay, so I'm gonna start by taking the front and back pieces, right sides together. So whatever you want on the outside needs to be together. And then you're just gonna stitch down the sides. We can start with the shoulder. So like here's my top, right, of the cover up. I'm gonna start with the shoulder. And what I like to do is line the edge of my presser foot with the edge of the fabric to help me keep it straight. That's just me. You can also use these lines here, or you could put like a piece of tape down wherever you want to like follow it That way you keep it straight. But I just usually line this up, and then you can move your needle position, like if I want my stitch to go more in this way. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move it over so that the stitch isn't so close to the edge. And then first you want to go backwards so you can lock the stitch in, because if you don't, it will just unravel itself. So mine has this little reverse thing. You're going to hold that down while you press the pedal. And then once you let go, it's going to start going forward again. And you want to do the same thing when you get to the end. So I'm going to go down here and then back. All right. There we go. One shoulder is done. Now, the good thing about a serger, I'm actually going to whiten that. I don't like how thin that is. Okay. The good thing about a serger is that it covers this edge up. And now what I'm going to do, since we're doing zigzag stitch for educational purposes, I'm going to stitch back over the very edge to prevent it from fraying more. Because really, like, you could like trim this closer to the edge, trim the seam allowance down, but then it's still going to be like raw edges. So I think I'm just going to go, oop. My thread came out. My machine likes to do that. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna go like this. And basically do the same thing, just on the very edge. Just for a cleaner look, which honestly later I'm probably gonna use my serger and go over the edges, but this way it's like kind of holding them down. Like, it's still not super pretty, but also this is just a quick little swimsuit cover up. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect. Okay, I'm gonna do the other shoulder the exact same way. All right, now that the shoulders are done, we are going to go down the side seams. So same thing here. Okay, now that shoulders and sides are done, put this to the side, and we want to focus on the sleeves, and we're just going to fold the sleeves. Oops, whoopsie. So like, here's the top of the sleeve, the round part, right? Turn it sideways, and we're gonna fold it in half. Hot dog style. Okay, then make sure that all this matches up. Oop, it's a little longer over here. We can fix that though. So the top of the sleeve, which is the curved part, which is going to attach to the dress, don't sew that down. You're just gonna sew the long straight edge. And if I didn't mention, just like you did with the dress, you want the right sides facing together. So this is what's going to be on the outside. Like once I put it on, this is the outside. So you want the outsides touching each other on the inside. So inside out. Whoops. Okay, and same thing here. We want to do the edges. Not gonna lie, I didn't do the edges on the inside of the actual dress part because I'll just search that later. Same thing with the other sleeve, and then we can attach them. And random, but I just want to say that, like, I know this can be really intimidating. Like, people probably have sewing machines that they've never used before because they're intimidated. So they're collecting dust in the garage in a box because it's like nobody knows what to do. But it really gets so much easier. Like, it becomes like muscle memory, second nature. I think it's really just the threading part, because, like, trust me, this thing, scary. Like, I did not know. I had to watch the same YouTube video about 50 times just to figure it out. But yeah, once you get the threading down, you know, obviously just be really careful with the needle, go slowly, like, don't have a heavy foot. Honestly, start barefoot because you can feel the pedal better and the amount of pressure that you're putting down. So yeah, and don't be afraid to make a mess. Like, just push it on the floor. You can clean it up later. My desk has this little cup holder, but it's like my little trash, so I'll just like sweep everything in there and then dump it out later. Okay, time to attach the sleeves. You're gonna leave the dress part inside out still, but then you want to turn the sleeves right side out, so that way the seam is on the inside like that. Oh, that looks good. And you can use pins, but since this is very holy fabric, like lots of holes, I'm gonna use these little plastic clips. So, let's see, where's the armhole? I'm sorry, y'all, I do not want to be on camera today, so I'm just gonna be out of the frame the whole time, but I'm still here, don't worry. Okay, so here's one of our armholes. Neck hole is much bigger. Armhole. So we're gonna, the bigger part, the one with the rounded edges, that's your shoulder. So you want to open up your armhole on your dress, and I like to stick my sleeve in there like this. So here's the shoulder, the bigger part of the sleeve. I'm gonna find the seam and I'm gonna attach it to the seam, the side seam of the dress, like this. And then clip them, clip or pin. So then you just go around and you're just matching up the edges, flipping, so that way everything stays in place when you sew it. Okay, once everything is pinned or clipped, you still have the sleeve on the inside. Here's the rest of the dress. And I'm a very visual learner, so I'm trying to keep showing y'all as best as I can. So same thing, I'm going to start with where I pinned the seams together. I want to start there so I can like have everything line up right. I didn't even show you how to put a presser foot down. So there's a lever back here when it's up so you can get the fabric underneath, and then this lever will put it down like that. So same thing. We want to, I like to pull the hand wheel on the side towards me so that the needle is down like in the fabric before I start. And then make sure you go backwards. And you're just gonna keep it as and then keep going around. Take out the clips and pins as you go. Oh, and on some other videos, I'm definitely going to be talking more. Like, I want to have like topics, you know what I mean? Like this, think of this as a podcast while you sew and learn how to sew. But today, since this is one of my first tutorial type of videos, I want to just focus on this, and then I'm gonna figure out what to do for the other ones, like figure out a way to teach while I am talking about other topics. Something is stuck. Where is it? Oh, what happened? Okay, so now that the arms are attached, I'm gonna turn it right side out and try it on. I'm going to use Linda here as my tester. Okay, front and back is the same, so it doesn't matter how you put it on. Also too, like, you can do this at different lengths, or you can do it without the sleeves, then it's literally just 2 pieces of fabric. Okay, that's looking good. I'm not gonna know how the arms are gonna fit until I try it on. It'll be much cuter with a swimsuit, I feel. And then, you know, you'll get the whole thing. Okay, so you can leave it like this if you want, but you have raw edges here, here, and then the bottom down here. So what we can do is, normally I would serge it to cover the raw edge and then fold it under like that. But for those of you that don't have a serger, which is probably a lot of people, I'm gonna do a rolled hem. So basically that's just like fold it under once, fold it under again. So that way you don't have a raw edge. Okay, so I just ended up serging the neckline, the armholes, which I took the sleeves off. It looked really weird with this fabric, I think. So feel free to take your sleeves off. If you do have your sleeves, you can hem like the bottom of the sleeves or serge them, zigzag stitch, whatever. And the bottom as well, just went ahead and serged that. But let me show you how to do the rolled hem or zigzag stitch method real quick. Okay, so since I already finished the cover up, I'm just gonna use this leftover fabric from the project to show you how to do a rolled hem. Probably just use like this cut edge right here. So we're going to keep it on a zigzag stitch still, keep everything the same, and you're literally just gonna roll it. Oh, also the other good thing about a zigzag stitch is it like allows for stretching. That's why it's good for stretch fabrics or material like this, because if you were to use a straight stitch on it and you like try to stretch it putting it on, it'll pop the stitches and then unravel. So always use a zigzag stitch if it's stretchy, if it's like a material that's really like thin or has holes. And yeah, okay, so you're gonna have the pretty side down and you want to, let me see, try to find a good spot to do this. Okay, let me just cut this, be a little easier to show you. Okay, so pretend that this is, you know, your neckline of your cover up. Oh, I'm missing some nails, don't mind me. I told you sewing with nails is hard, so I end up ripping them off. But yeah, okay, so pretend this is the neckline or the bottom hem or the armhole, and you're gonna have the pretty side facing down. So this is gonna be the inside. And then you're really just gonna, you fold it once, like that. I know this material is kind of weird, but then you're just gonna fold it over again, like that. Oh, we have some company. I've switched locations today, so, but it's much quieter over here. All right. So keep it on zigzag stitch. Same thing, I'm gonna line up the edge with the edge of the fabric. And then I wanna make sure, I think I might need to change the needle position because I wanna make sure it stays on this little strip of fabric. And then you kind of just keep rolling as you go. With other materials, I suggest ironing it, but this isn't really a material that you need to iron. So I'm just gonna roll it as I go. But same thing, I'm gonna go ahead and put the needle down first. So I'm rolling this hand wheel over here. I'm rolling that toward me a little bit so that the needle is in the fabric. And then go backwards. And then go forwards and just keep rolling it as I go. pretend that's the end. So we're gonna go backwards again. Lift the presser foot. Trim both threads. Cool. So this is what it would look like if you did a rolled hem. Or if that's difficult, you can just do one. So like if you don't want to roll it like once and then twice, you can just do one like this. So pretty side down again. Same thing, I'm gonna line up the edge with the edge. This is just a quicker way. And honestly, you probably won't be able to tell the difference with this fabric. Like I said, quick cover up, doesn't need to be fancy. Just trying to learn some basic skills, basic construction. So I'm just trying to keep it the same all the way down, the same width that I'm folding it in. That's just folding it over once. And it looks pretty much the same as where we did the rolled hem. It's just thicker because we rolled it over twice. So you could really do either way. If you have a serger, you can just serge it like I did. But yeah, let's go try it on.
Homie, we just out here trying to elevate. Heaven is a crime scene, stay behind the yellow tape. I started making money in 11th grade. Soon as I learned that the more you do, the less you wait. Got a bigger crib, always use the extra space. Shit was so different in 2008. Growing pains, feel the open veins with Novocaine. Relapse, I eat that, I don't complain. I'm just rambling. You want war? N64 Blitz champion, outer space channeling, brain damaging, heavy.